Hey everybody, my name is Jeffrey Martin. I'm a public librarian, although this video isn't part of any job assignment. We've been reading My Fantastically Evil Vampire Pet by Mo O'Hara for upper elementary story time. And we are going to finish it today, hopefully. We're going to do chapters 29, 30, and 31, and then a very small letter at the end of the book. Since it's getting to be the end of the week, I just felt like it was a good time to close this chapter, so to speak. I hope you've enjoyed the ride. Chapter 29. I finished wrapping the last of the clear tape around the bear's head, avoiding his claws as they occasionally swiped at something imaginary in front of him, and then went back to covering up his ears. I was making sure those goggles were not going to fall off. It is amazing how many good traps just need a little tape in the end, I said. Geeky Girl nodded. She and I looked over at the bear as he sat and swatted. So, I said as I leaned in to look at the bear, what image did you program to trap him anyway? Well, Geeky Girl said, smiling, we didn't have any bear-appropriate images, really. So I pulled up some old Star Wars stuff from my image bank. She paused. He's basically being held prisoner by Ewoks with little lightsabers. And the audio? I asked, not sure if I wanted to know. Oh yeah, the Ewoks are singing, she answered. It's the best I could do at short notice. You're seriously one geeky girl. I laughed. But you're also pretty evil when you want to be. I guess we should go tell someone about the bear and the goggles and all, she said, then looked at her watch. But we're going to miss the trap demonstrations. There's no way we can get them all to come down here and see this. So we survived the bear, but we're going to lose anyway and be sent home. I kicked the grass. Oh man, and I hate canoes too. Then Fang's ears perked up and Boris fluttered up to Geeky Girl's shoulder again. I heard some more stomping coming up to the clearing. You don't think the bear has a friend, do you? Geeky Girl said nervously as we stared at the edge of the woods. I hope not, because we only have one set of those goggles. Fang dropped into total attack kitten stance. I don't know if she thought she could now take on any bear, but she looked like she was ready to try. That's when we heard the singing. Arr, 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 arr. Igor! Geeky Girl and I said at the same time. Igor stomped out from the trees and motioned back the way he'd come. He mimed a pretty good impression of what must have been Dustin trying to pull squirrels out of his hair, and then just pinched his nose and wheezed for Sange. Yep, I said. They ran back to the camp after we totally took down their trap with like a million hypnotized animals all attacking at once, and then I paused and stepped back to reveal our captured bear. We totally trapped a bear. Urgh, Igor said and fist bumped me. I know, right, I said, but that doesn't help us win the contest, Geeky Girl said. I mean, I'm not all about winning, but it would be nice to show those leaders and the other campers that we did this, and I sort of don't want to go home yet, even though I didn't want to be here. Igor then mimed what I guess must have been him paddling the canoe of shame and sinking. I don't think he trusted that the canoe would last long with him in it. They both sighed. I stepped forward. Well, I'm all about winning, I said. I want that evil Emperor of the Week crown. You know, they don't actually give you a crown, right? Geeky Girl said. Igor mimed holding her certificate. I'm getting a crown, I shouted. I don't care if I have to make it myself, but I'm winning that prize too. I looked at Geeky Girl and Igor. We all are. All we have to do is get the bear back to camp. I said, Igor, how much do you think you can carry? And how heavy is an average bear? Okay, so that's chapter 29. So we've got 30 and then 31. Chapter 30. You should have seen their faces. Kirsty, Trevor, and Philip were all on stage by the front of the campfire, and the rest of the campers were all gathered around when we walked up. One geeky girl, walking a little taller than she had all week. One uber-tough, bear-trapping evil emperor in the making. You know that's me, right? And one Igor carrying a bear in a beanie with goggles. Oh yeah, and one small gray, stripy, charcoal-colored raccoon, and one smudgy gray bird. No one noticed them but us, and that's just the way we wanted it. Bob and Diablo were on the stage in the front as well. Kirsty was holding a certificate that said, Evil Camp Emperor, and it looked like she was about to hand it to them. Dustin was sitting off to the side, mumbling to himself and scratching his head. It looked like they had to shave off part of his hair, and Sands was sitting in a barrel of tomato sauce to get rid of the skunk smell. "There's one more trap to judge," I said to the stunned crowd of campers. Igor walked right up to the center of the stage and sat the bear down on the floor right between Kirsty and Trevor. "You trapped a bear?" Kirsty said. "That's our bear," Sands whined. He shrugged so hard that he spilled about a gallon of juice out the side of his barrel. "That is kind of true. They trapped the bear first. Then she untrapped it," I said, and pointed to Geeky Girl. "Then we retrapped it, only better," I smiled. "So it's a double-cross trap that is even more evil than a single trap. So take that." I fist-bumped Igor. The camp leaders all looked around at the bear and the goggles. "That's pretty impressive, but I'm not sure that it would work on all enemies," Philip said. "That's where you're wrong," Geeky Girl spoke up. "The goggles can be adapted to trap anyone in a virtual prison. They think they are being held prisoner for real, so they don't try to get away." "Ingenious," Trevor the Techinator said. "Evil and genius." "Well, it wouldn't have to be used for evil," Geeky Girl started to say, and I jumped in fast. "Thanks, Trevor. May I call you Trevor?" "No," he answered. "Right, Mr. Techinator. I think this is the most evil trap ever because you have to have some pretty evil programming skills to use it. And you can disguise it as something else and have someone sitting in their trap and no one would see them." Philip nodded and smiled. Here's a picture of all of them with Igor on his back. Or not, with Igor with the bear on his back, excuse me. And it's kind of eco-friendly because it's reusable, Geeky Girl added. They all looked blankly at her and I elbowed her. "But yeah, it's totally evil." Igor agreed. "So did Igor plan this trap with you two as well? We heard that his own trap partnership failed," Philip said. "The goth girls that Igor was paired up with huffed and threw down a big broken net." "Well, Igor didn't plan it with us exactly," Geeky Girl started. "But the plan totally wouldn't have worked without him," I said. "He was our evil plan executor." Kirsty leaned over and waved a hand in front of the bear. "It's totally trapped," she said. "This might be the evil trap we've been looking for." She nodded to Philip and Trevor. Bob and Diablo both reached over to see if they could grab the certificate from Kirsty and make a run for it, but she was too fast for them. "Nice try, boys, but no way that you two win Evil Emperor of the Week now. The bear trap wins," Kirsty announced. "Yes!" I fist-bumped the air. In the excitement of the moment, Geeky Girl actually went to hug Igor, but decided on a gentle high-five instead. Everybody mwahahaha'd and clapped, even the kid still stuck in the bubble. Well, you could see him doing it, even if you couldn't hear it. "They can't win. They smuggled their own pets onto camp." "There, I said it. Now you have to send them home." Sand splashed more juice out of his barrel as he slapped his hands down in protest. "Where are the pets?" Trevor asked. "Well, they were there in the woods. We trapped them and then they got away. But they were there," Sanj said. "Dustin, back me up. You saw the pets." All Dustin could mumble, though, was, "Squirrels, squirrels. I really hate squirrels." Over and over again. Fair enough, really. "So who gets sent home in the canoe of shame?" Diablo asked. "Skunk Kid and Squirrel Boy?" Bob added. "Lucky for them we had already picked the worst team of the week," Kirsty said, "or they would have been paddling away this afternoon. This week we decided to name the submarine trapped as the worst team. Mostly because they definitely failed and were already sailing halfway home," Philip said. "So we just stuck a shame sticker on the side of the sub and sent them off," Trevor added. "It saves us going and picking up the canoe later." I could see Sanj sigh and sink back down into his barrel of juice. Then the three counselors lined up on stage and called Geeky Girl. Igor and me forward, called Geeky Girl, Igor, and me forward as the evil kid with the piccolo played. I could just about see out of the corner of my eye Fang, a.k.a. the raccoon, and Boris, a.k.a. non-specific random forest bird, that's certainly not a budgie, Paul and Wing Bump as Geeky Girl, Igor, and I got our certificates. Result. There they are with their certificates. That's chapter 30, alright? So now we got chapter 31, which is the last chapter of the book, and then we've got a letter at the end of the book. 31. So that's it. My first week at Evil Scientist Summer Camp was over. I thought I would make a list. Top 5 things I learned at Evil Scientist Summer Camp this week. Number 5. Snakes don't like me, and I don't like snakes, or real raccoons or skunks, and even the groundhogs looked a bit creepy, actually. And don't get me started on bears. Basically, wild animals are out. Number 4, sometimes when you pretend something, it comes back to bite you in the butt. Sometimes this happens like a metaphor type thing. Sometimes this happens for real. Number 3, Geeky Girl has a better evil laugh than most of the kids here, but still not better than me. Right? Number 2, crowns are always way better than certificates. Why doesn't anyone else get that? Number 1, Fang is the evilest, most hardcore, snake knotting, bear jumping, raccoon fighting, feet snuggling vampire kitten any evil scientist could wish for. And she still makes Bob sneeze, which is a total bonus. But my fingers are covered in band-aids. She's still kind of bitey. Alright, that's 31, and then the letter at the end. Dear Mom, Eco-Scientist Summer Camp is good. I'm having fun, but I'm running out of Band-Aids. Please send more. Oh, and maybe some Oreo cookies. And my latest copy of Evil Scientist magazine. And you know, maybe a crown, if you have one lying around. Oh, and you can tell Sammy that I actually gave a bear a new hat. Mwahahaha. Can't wait until next week. Your son, Mark. P.S. Sanj got skunked. And that is the end. I hope you enjoyed my Fantastically Evil Vampire Pet by Mo O'Hara. As I mentioned in some of the previous videos, Mo O'Hara has another good series that's called My Big Fat Zombie Goldfish. Sorry, I had a mind lapse there and I had to think about it. Well, I've enjoyed reading this for you all, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Appreciate you.